There are some core things that we focus on. And the first being understanding your risk, your appetite for risk. And this will help us to know what percentage and what allocations you should be in that Bander income model. Also, we're going to custom investments. We're going to put together solutions for you. Great example of this are our Bander custom income notes. We are creating those internally. We've been utilizing them on behalf of clients, and it is something that we do that's different from many other investment groups or firms. And it's something that we can bring to investors that I'm very pleased with. We are very diligent when it comes to cost. We're utilizing low cost investments and understand that that affects the overall fund performance. One thing that I love doing as a certified financial planner is not only focusing on the costs, but also your tax efficiency. We love working in conjunction with your tax professionals. We certainly seek to understand the tax implications of the things that we're doing on our end and really utilize tax advantaged investments on behalf of investors. And then is to stay fully diversified. So those are some of the things that I wanted to bring up with you today. Our portfolios are actively managed, which means that we are rebalancing as cash comes in, as things happen within your portfolio. And I'll mention this when it comes to the general rule of thumb, please remember, we don't want to use long-term investments with short-term money. So that's again why I remind you of the growth portfolio and then also our income portfolio, which is where we'll pull from for short-term money. Now, as a matter of update, this is in regards to that growth portfolio and some of the investments that we're utilizing inside the market. And you'll see we have an index fund, the S&P 500, that represents the 500 largest companies in the US. We also have made a transition and are using more of dimensional funds. And I'm going to touch on that here momentarily. But two of the funds that we're using, one is a high profitability, which invests in 182 US companies with higher than expected profitability, good, solid profit and loss statements and income. And then the other one is a value fund that invests in smaller and mid-sized companies, over 1,300 US companies. So it gives us a lot of good US exposure. We do have a sliver or an allocation into the energy sector. So that's represented here with a low cost ETF. And then the last one is to use a total international fund. And this is one that we're pulling from Vanguard that invests in over 8,600 non-US companies across the globe. And so that gives us some good international exposure, some opportunity for return, and helps manage that risk and give us some diversification. Now, dimensional funds, one thing I like about them is that they really don't jump on every new idea that comes along. They're looking at what will stand over a long period of time and really looking at the fundamentals of each of the businesses and the companies that are within their funds. And that's a big thing that we preach here at Bander Wealth Management as well. And so that's why we've inserted a couple of their funds now into our growth portfolio. When it comes to the active models that we supervise, many of you have likely seen this, but we have a scale of 1 to 6, 6 being aggressive growth, pedal to the metal, 1 being more protection and more conservative. And so we have each of our portfolios based on the investor, based on your type of account, but assigned to one of our active models. Within each of these models, this gives you an idea of what percentage is going to be in that growth or stock portfolio and what's going to be in the income portfolio. And so, for example, with model 1, we're going to have 60% into that income portfolio, where we've got more aversion to risk for that more conservative investor. And then as you slide down the scale or up to the Model 5 or the Model 6, you're going to see more exposure to the growth or the stock market portfolio. So we're always happy to dive into this in greater detail with each of you individually and one-on-one, but that gives you a general overview of what the differences are between the models 1 through 6, allocated between the income portfolio and the growth portfolio. And one thing that we'll find common with investors is we might have a Roth IRA or a longer term vehicle that is invested in the Model 5, and then a different account or an account that we plan on utilizing sooner in your timeline that's invested in the Model 2 portfolio. So there's great options here and something we've been very pleased with. Now, this here gives you an idea of our custom income notes. We now have invested close to 73 million into these types of investments at the time of this recording. And I want to share with you a little bit of the returns. Once the coupon or the dividend, the income payments, the cash coupons that come out on a monthly basis, we've received 90% of those payments. So you've probably heard me say before, that tells us two things: that number one, they happen with a high level of frequency, but number two, there are times when one of the underlying securities is outside of the buffer, and so it therefore does not pay that month. We've had an average annualized return over the 5 portfolios of 16.14%. And you can see our model 3, 4, and 5, they have higher annualized rates of return. They've taken on more risk within these income notes. And so that's to be expected. And then we have had 100% of the principal returned on these notes to date. And so very pleased with the performance of these. These are a huge part of our income in our Bander income portfolio. So a couple things now as we come to the conclusion of this video, I want to mention our year-end strategic financial planning sessions. We as financial planners look at 5 key pillars and components of a plan and work we do as certified financial planners. And the first is to start with the estate planning. We want to understand what your goals are at the end and what you're working towards. So this is something that we have been incorporating. We plan and expect and want to talk to each of you about it. We will then move through this life cycle, if you will, work on tax planning, certainly from our standpoint, but also working in conjunction with your tax professional. It's also very helpful for us to have a copy of your tax return. We can run through and do our own analysis from a certified financial planner standpoint and provide some additional insight and perhaps some tips or recommendations on things you can be doing from a tax planning standpoint, not to mention our emphasis as a firm on tax advantaged investments. It then moves through and goes to insurance planning, income planning, and investment planning. And so you'll notice the income planning is where we use our income portfolio, and then the investment planning is going to be that long-term growth strategy. So a couple things, takeaways from this video. If you haven't received it already or would like a copy, we've created a list of 35 essential documents that we want to make sure that each of our clients have. We encourage you to put together these documents. You can upload them onto your Bander Secure financial website in the vault, where they're stored securely and free from theft or being lost or damaged. So, but we will send this to each client. When it comes to tax planning, as I mentioned, we love working with your current professionals. I always invite clients to open up a line of communication with us and your current tax professional. There are things that we can do in working alongside each other. And then providing us a copy. We will run through some tax scenario analysis. We'll look at last year, we'll project for next year. It'll help us make investment decisions and conduct great and extensive financial planning on your behalf. It also will help us to help you minimize your lifetime tax liability. So we're looking at Roth conversions, we're looking at our contribution schedules and our distribution schedules to see what might work best and most appropriately for you. Now, as I go through that progression, you'll remember insurance planning was next. And a key component for us and what we're doing with clients is long-term care planning. We want to make sure and include this with you. If you have questions and want to reach out in advance, please feel free to do so. But we have 5 areas or ways that we address long-term care planning that do not involve a long-term care policy. We shy away from using long-term care policies. We feel like there's 5 options, and it's not that everyone is going to utilize one of these. It's usually a combination, but we want to make sure that you have a plan for long-term care. Many of you have likely seen it with your parents or loved ones, and we want to make sure that you have a plan in place. And so we do have some solutions, and we'll plan on covering these things with you as part of our ongoing financial planning with you and with our clients. A good quote that I read the other day by Benjamin Franklin: "Wealth is not his that has it, but his that enjoys it." And one of our goals here is to help you enjoy the wealth and the money that you've built up and saved over the years. So please know you have myself, Doug Omont, a fellow CFP and member of our advisory team here at Bander, more than willing, looking for opportunities to help and to contribute to you and to your happiness throughout retirement. Please know that you have a professional team here at Bander Wealth Management, ready and able to serve at all times. I would like to just say thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to work together, to work with you. And please know that our goal is to help you accomplish your goals. We appreciate those that have referred us over the years. We are open to receiving your introductions. If you have friends or family that could benefit from some of the solutions that we work diligently on acquiring and then applying and helping with our investors. So we thank you for introductions that you make to others that might benefit from our services. If we can be of service to you in any way, please don't hesitate to reach out. And I hope that you found this video useful and educational, and look forward to talking soon. Thank you.